Hello and welcome to TFTV3. It's been a while since we used this channel, but here we are back at it again with the ETF2L Div 1 Grand Finals of Season 29. It's a matchup between the Bugs EU and Lowpander, and I'm today joined by Wiethoofd on production and Georgebaii on the mic.
Hello.
This should be a fun matchup. You have looked up some history between these teams over the season, haven't you, George?
Yeah, a little bit. I had to dig around between the past results of them during this season, for season 29. Interestingly enough, the Bugs EU actually came up the stronger during the regular season, managing to narrowly beat Lowpander on two maps. The first was a 5-4 on Gullywash, which went to a golden cap, which we were going to see first, actually. I'm on the other map. And then it was a 3-2 on Granary, with the Bugs EU being the stronger team as well on there.
So close games, yeah.
Yeah, close games all around, really. As well as the playoffs form as well, like between these two teams, like both of them coming up through the ranks. Lowpander had a relatively easier route to this final, I have to say. They started off with a default win against Red Pandas for unforeseen reasons, I can't really remember. And then they managed a comfortable win over Bullet Club, I think, beating them in two maps. 4-2, 3-1 on Gullywash and Process to get to this final. And the Bugs EU have had a relatively more harder route, I guess. They lost initially to Bullet Club in the playoffs, 6-1, 6-1. So Bullet Club got to the upper bracket and Bugs were locked down. And then the Bugs ended up playing Red Pandas, which actually was another close game, going 3-2, 3-2 on both maps, which were on Granary and Gullywash, which we're also going to be seeing later, potentially. So yeah, all the makers of the close game, similar maps played throughout, playoffs being really tight. So yeah, it should be a cracker.
Yeah, Lowpander should probably be the team most people are a little bit more aware of. Previously in Prem, stepping down after a little bit of roster issues and motivation issues, so they came back together for Div 1 pretty late into the postseason of Season 28, but they managed to stay together. Got a new medic, which is Champagne, who's the last one not yet on the server, so she will be joining them on medic for this game as well. And they've been getting into form again. People who watched the Essentials Monthly Cup last weekend probably have seen a little bit of them, and they had good results against some of the higher Prem teams as well. So they seem to be in form, and the Bucks have certainly a task ahead of them, in my opinion. Certainly coming in here as the underdogs, but still Prem experience on the roster for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. A bunch of these players actually the former Weeb Tunnel Tactics team. I mean, I've seen Ignis and Bloodis. I think Mentalex as well also played for that team. So they're no strangers to Prem, and they know how to get there. So they should have the same drive really as Lowpander, who I think are really going to try and just treat this as a motivational boost for the upcoming season. Season 30 coming up, big season for Wiethoofd, I'm sure.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the winner of this will be sent straight into Premiership, assuming the team stays alive. But for Lowpander, I kind of feel like they would. They have too much history to just like win high or Div 1 of all things again, and then just fall apart again. So I would assume they certainly stay alive. With the Bucks, I don't know. It was a question mark if the team even comes back ever for the season to begin with. So maybe some sort of the team will maybe stay alive, but who knows? And either way, the winner of this will go straight into Prem and won't have to do any of the troubling issues of going through the preseason qualifier for Premiership, which is always a little bit of a gamble. You can just choke a day and then obviously have either been sent to the lower bracket or immediately out, depending on how many teams sign up. So it's just a huge safety net as well for your next season as well.
Yeah, and also going over these sort of roster changes you were mentioning about, you also mentioned Champagne switching up for Medic on Lowpander. But then we also got, remember, Funds switching to Ascent EU eventually, and they're going to be playing in the lower bracket final against Omni 5, actually, in the Premiership. But Lowpander seemed to drop a ball and actually picked up Cookie, who's come off a bit of a hiatus to come back to play regularly
he's been
for
like
Lowpander.
Here and there, like the last one and a half seasons, like kind of just playing a little bit. For this season, he stepped up big time. He's come properly back. I think he played every official for them. So it's not like a maybe he come back and just like subbing in every once in a while. No, he's properly back now. And yeah, they have been doing well with him, as well as Champagne. So roster changes have been going over relatively smoothly. For the Bucks part, you mentioned they have some Prem experience. Obviously, they have some players without previous Prem experience, being Turbo, Jinx, and Thomas, but they've been doing pretty well in previously seasons in a high, coming in high enough that obviously they came together with this roster and been doing as well as they did. And yeah, it's been working, so it will be interesting to see how far they can push this new roster.
Yeah, indeed. And I think you mentioned, you also said about Tom Nass not having Prem experience. I have to correct you there. He actually does have Prem experience with Danger Dogs back in, I think it was season 22. He was a scout for them for a few games. I think he got switched out for Razor's Edge at some point. It was like him and Zany on the combo. But yeah, Tom Nass definitely no stranger to Prem, actually. And he's actually going to switch to Soldier, which is probably as effective as Scout, I believe. I think he's really stepped up in that game. Normally known as a Scout main back in his Prem days, but he's made the switch now.
Yeah, and the closest this roster had to Prem experience together was all the way back before the season even started in the preseason qualifier. No, was it preseason? No, it was an unlock test cup way in January, I think. And they played against Omni 5 back then, whatever, my son's basketball team or whatever they were called, or Rakuten, one of the two.
Yeah.
And they actually traded maps. Omni 5 we've seen has hugely improved since then, and so I would say have the Bucks, so definitely we move the same players, quite different teams just in how well they perform now. So yeah, it just goes to show how much people can improve if they just keep playing for a while. Lowpander is certainly a good example of that, having played for quite a while with like only slightly changing rosters, this being no exceptions to roster changes coming into the season. So it will be difficult. And we have talked about the maps: Gullywash first, Granary second, Process last. And from what I've seen going into this game, Process didn't look like a really strong suit for the Bucks. So if they want to win this, they probably need to win the first two maps. Otherwise, I don't see too much of a chance.
It looks like we're going live, actually, for this game.
Yes, the Bucks EU versus Lowpander ETF2L Season 29 Div 1 Grand Finals. First map will be Gullywash.
I'm going to be watching Hildress for this mid as he comes in. He's going to be using the choke rollout, which is a fairly normal rollout for DuMmTm, close to range to health pack, but he's got to be careful not to get caught out here. He's going to be laying down some general denial as the rest of the scouts walk forwards for the Bugs EU. Tom Nass making the jump in onto Hildress, trying to get some damage onto him, but not much is coming to fruition of it. No frags as of yet. Most of the team's pretty weak actually to help on the side, I think, of High Panda, Lowpander even. It's Mickey, but eventually two players go down on the side of Lowpander. As Ubis is trying to make some ground in the Spire now, trying to get a few kills in onto the soldiers. Tom Nass down to really low HP on the side there, but Mentalex the arrows trying to hold those heals. And I think Lowpander should be able to get this mid actually. They got most of the positional advantage and should be able to get this cap.
Yeah, this was an interesting little back and forth. Lowpander played like top across the point really aggressively. The Bucks tried to approach the small farm on bottom, and each team got a little bit done with each of their plays, but not a huge amount. In the end, it just mostly it's spam battle, and eventually Lowpander's heals were just good enough to force the Bucks out of mid, and we already see Mookie or Classic to Sniper just going in aggressively through choke, trying to do a hero play, but
yeah, he was going for the Starkey play there, but didn't quite work out for him. He gets midsed out, and now Lowpander, a player down. Bugsy looking to try and push off this perhaps. You've got a lot of players trying to commit through choke, and indeed the Ubers pops onto Tom Nass. He's trying to try and get into Champagne now to force out it, but she's refusing to pop. Has to pop eventually, down lockdown to very low HP. And Tom Nass is eventually going to get cleaned up on the back lines by the scouts as the rest of Lowpander walk in. Now, the Bugs are going to have to play some sort of positional game, but they're going to try and collapse into Lowpander. Ubers getting knocked up into the air as Menti has to surf around. Now Cookie's trying to get onto Menti, trying to get the pick onto him, but Ignis is probably going to try and protect this medic.
He was custom late? No, Ignis is still now protecting the medic. Takes out one as well, 3k for Ignis. And both teams just trying to protect their medics really well. Champagne using super late and feeling really confident in that, committing really deep, but she was incredibly weak after the Fades. Quick kill from Turbo after that, and just nice protection onto Menti, followed suit to get that. And Hilda overextends on the shutter door, gets taken down. 3 seconds made even easier. And it's a short respawn, relatively speaking, for a second to last transition, so he won't be staying there too long, so they have him for us, but it's still a huge Uber deficit.
So yeah, Bugs in a good position to try and take around at this. They're going to try and build the early sentry on the Lowpander, but the Uber's forced. Lowpander now going to start flooding out on the left side, trying to take some space in, and Mr. Epic's going to get a kill, I think, to one of the soldiers there, as Uber's trying to control off to the point, but not enough actually. A lot of the Lowpander players going down, and that's 1-0 up to the Bugs.
Yeah, clean conversion of the Uber advantage that they got themselves all the way on their second after Lowpander's over-eagerness to move in with their Uber and got punished greatly. First round goes to the Bugs. Lowpander now on the back foot, and we'll probably see a little bit less of Mookie's aggressive sniper plays now.
Yeah, I'm going to push in turret as well. A huge bomb in actually from Mookie trying to get onto the demo, but he gets piped away and cleaned up by Ignis as the rest of the Lowpander trying to follow up, but Cookie goes down as well. That's 2 players down already for the side of Lowpander as Lobus is trying to commit. They lose Mr. Epic as well. That's going to be an easy mid-win for the Bug CU. Looking to try and work out this momentum for the one-round advantage.
Yeah, it looks like they had different ideas done with, like Mookie straight onto the demo, and everybody else seemed to have spam towards medic taking Menti on like 10 HP for a second there. But obviously nothing much happened with any of their respective damages, so the Bugs just capitalizing off of the lack of focus fire and already back on the enemy second. Both medics surviving makes it a whole lot harder for anyone to do anything here, but in the lead you can just take the less risky stuff and like keep trying it over and over again until something sticks.
Yeah, Bugs potentially getting ready for some sort of soldier sack, I think. Both Solly's in the river right now, while Mentalex is holding up in river. Jinxie's going to try and get in position now for this push, but he's getting knocked down to very low HP, and one of the scouts is actually going to trap some water, but don't see him yet. Actually, Mickey is going to call him out. Bloodis is going to get fight with Mickey on the point now. Rick knocked down to very low HP, eventually gets cleaned up by Mr. Epic, and actually Jinxie also went down on the side there, so that's 2 players down for the side of the Bugs CU. Still have an Uber though, but not great with the numbers advantage right now for this second point.
Yeah, they're forced to back off here, and they're already back in river with only Thomas sitting on second properly, awaiting something, and here Lowpander comes popping in the Uber, getting Ignis as well, losing Cookie for it. Exchange has been had, but Lowpander popping first, meaning the Uber will run out sooner, so they're forced to retreat pretty quickly here. They got the exchange, they might want it. Uber's with the drop down, and Mookie, well coordinated double soldier aggressive, getting the medic, getting the second kill onto Jinx as well. Nicely done by Lowpander having the picks, but they still need to defend themselves from these last 3 players.
Yeah, silky smooth coordination there coming out from Lowpander, getting the pick onto Mentalex as well, as the rest of the Bugs you tried to hold their ground on the second point, but 3 on 3 at the moment. You got the respawns coming for Lowpander, so should be looking to comfortably hold this point, but Bloodis has had another bit. He's going to try and engage Cookie in the river now, probably going to have to be forced to back off now. And actually we got a sniper on the side of the Bugs in the form of Jinxie.
Yeah, we had one on the defense from Lowpander before, and Mookie on mid as well, but now we have the offensive sniper too on the Bugs' part, and people are still dying. Lowpander finally tries to push out here, but they don't have too much of an advantage moving out of that, and it backfires quickly. Turbo gets one, Jinx gets one, straight onto the medic, headshot, nicely done. Lowpander still capped it off, but for how much longer?
Mickey's jumping in behind from Choke now, trying to get some sort of purchase into the medic. He's going to jump in onto Mentalex now, trying to get a lot of damage onto him, but not going to be
nice
enough.
Pipe,
nice pipes from Turbo. Really nice stuff from him, as Mentalex survives some 4 HP. As the rest of the Bugs look to cap off this second and potentially make a last push out of this. Long respawns on the side of Lowpander coming into this last point. Already Mentalex is going to be walking in. Slightly slow cap time though with the sniper cap, so it gives them time for Lowpander to set up this defense.
Yeah, really nicely done, and it forces them back all the way to last. Advantage up for the Bugs, and they move in, get Champagne early, no heals anymore. They can take a little bit more time now to get the kill if they want. So they do, taking down Cookie. 2 people behind, but how much can they do? It doesn't seem like it's enough. Only heal trip at 1 on the field, but they're both getting the kills eventually, but no, it's not enough. Thomas and Benji stay alive, getting them relatively late, but the only spawner that would be come up in time is Champagne.
Yeah, and that's 2-0 to the Bugs right now. I wasn't really expecting this coming into this first map, but really probably hearing my words that they need to take advantage of these first 2 maps, that they beat them on the regular season actually. So Bugs in a good position actually to take this map, but not early days yet. We've got a huge amount of time left on this Gullywash. Eventually Hildreth's going to come out onto this choke point. We actually have a Mookie sniping as well.
Yeah. But is it working so far? It's Blood is dying, so
that's a good sign right there.
Straight jump in by Jinxie gets the pick, but Mookie still gets the sniper pick onto just before the jump in by Thomas trying to just brute force his way.
Jinxie's behind in choke as well. They've got to be careful to watch this. A lot of players are already positioned out in the choke, so good retaliation there for Lowpander to like pull out their Jinxie soldier in their choke as they get a comfortable win off of that. But slightly of advantage on the side of Mentalex, not really going to be able to use it on this last defense with the players down. It'd be interesting to how they approach this last defense.
Like, it seems almost a little bit surprising to see Mookie being this one sniping to it, if you have a sniper of the caliber of Mon, but it just really goes to show how much they value having 2 scouts instead. And Mookie's presence on sniper almost did the most damage there, really, just for Jinx to commit.
Yeah, Lowpander thinking about something in this river hold, but seemed a bit hesitant to actually push out there. I saw Mookie getting jumped around a lot and nearly died actually off of that. We also see a Pyro from the side of the bugs with the Phlogistonnator on Ignis as well. So he's probably looking to try and build that crits charge, potentially for this last defense if he gets enough time.
Yeah, it's also interesting that you can see how this is like set up, because normally you have the sentry roughly where the medic stands around there, the corner with the stairs, but they have it behind the point, and with that, the Pyro has no opportunity to airblast anything away from it, so just switch to Flog and get the damage done that way.
The Serapic's coming into water now, but the level 3 gun there, that's going to be nowhere. He's actually going to get it. That's should clear up a bit of space actually for Lowpander for this next push. Normal composition, no Mookie off casting as well, so Mr. Epic probably looking to be a nuisance on this underneath this point, trying to get some cap time. Actually, he's going to come in with, I think it was Ubers as well, to get some cap time, but they both go down. They still have a decent chunk though, so Bugs might be a little bit hesitant to push out now. And actually, Mickey's going to try and follow up on this, get some more cap time, but again goes down. So the Bugs are probably going to push out with this
play a little bit discoordinated, coming in a bit too early. Everybody was still on last. If it's coming in later, maybe he could have just won the 1v1 and sneaked away with it. Now it's a pressuring amount of time on the point, but they can still move out really for now.
Yeah, both of us coming out on the second push now, with most of it going on to, I think it was Jinxie, as well as Champagne using it majority onto Ubers. It's going to be really deep with the hill drip in this big door now, trying to get some purchase.
Is on the last, he just walked over the thing, and that's it. The time on point did work out in the end. The Demo and Turbo wasn't fast enough to respond to that.
Oh dear, and that's
so
going to be
Lowpander sneaky strike working out.
Yeah, oh dear. It's going to be a round to Lowpander now, so trying to bring this map back right now. 2-1 currently to the Bugs. They're going to this mid.
And we once again see Mookie sniping, so they like the sniper double scout, not just the product, but also on Gullywash mid.
Yeah, going to be watching this Mookie sniper. It gets an eye onto Ignis, but not able to hit their shot. And he's going to be generally passive. I think he's getting chased by one of the soldiers of Jinxie actually, and he's going to surf away. Mookie's still trying to fight this soldier, nearly hitting the headshot, but has to eventually die. Slight number of items actually on the other side of the Lowpander, but Jinxie once again behind in choke, as no cap time has actually been given onto the mid yet, I think. And
yeah,
Jinxie's
he wants to come in. Oh, not well timed enough. Everybody was in choke. Jinx doesn't go anywhere. It's really weird how they play around these sniper mids. Like most of the time you have a team playing with a sniper on mid and just like support the sniper, protect him, and have him be the one do the huge amounts of damage. But Lowpander kinda have Mookie on sniper to just be annoying, and Jinx goes for him every time.
You're going to see a heavy from Mookie coming out for this last push potentially. It's being really slow, just spinning up repeatedly as the rest of the Bugs start to set up their last defense. They have a Pyro and an Engineer. We have to see how Lowpander approaches this situation as Mookie gradually makes his way onto the last point.
Everybody knows heavy counters Pyro, so probably part of the idea here. Assuming he's part of the Uber, if not just a repush, which is an old strat, and he's positioned for it, yeah.
So yeah, Lowpander bringing this Uber, but like the sentry guns do not deny in sort their movement, and still no Uber of Sonic Mentalex, and actually milking this very well. I don't think Lowpander are even going to get forced out, be forced to back off here. Hildriff going back for a river, as the rest of the Bugs hold strong. Mentalex keeping his Uber. Actually got Mookie in a very weird position here. I wonder if I might actually catch him out. He's going to be peeking out onto Thomas, gets the kill as well. With the
but it's just a soldier trade in the end. It might slow them down, but it's not getting them anywhere, to say. So it's a little bit interesting. Uber also commits way too late into the lower area and just gets taken down. Mon as well tries to sneak in from behind. Unsuccessfully, people just feeding slowly but surely, and this gives the Bugs the opportunity to push out with Uber.
Yeah, could have potentially held it, but enough spam coming out there from Hildred Stickies to force that Uber out, so that's something to take away from this second fight at least. As the rest of the Bugs looking to try and commit into choke now, but the Mickey Heavy holding strong in the boxes to deny that space for the choke. As the Bugs look to try and re-strategize. The taunt! He's actually getting spammed by the soldier, but eventually gets forced out by Mr. Epic.
The lane force as well is so useful, because now Lowpander are the ones with advantage of being able to walk into second, and with a Heavy just denying anything coming close to the medic, there's not much the Bugs can do in response to that.
Stickies of the Hildred. One of the soldiers shot them off and it rolled straight into Hildred's direction. As the rest of the Lowpander try to walk out and lift heavy, trying to take away a significant amount of attention. As the rest of the Lowpander try to take the second point, which they do successfully. Slight Uber advantage as well on their side, so they're probably looking to use that coming into this last push. They could probably be leading on Mr. Epic with this Uber now, popping it off. Mentalex in a very passive position, but Mr. Epic's looking to try and walk forward. Ignis and the Pyro now trying to get some air blast away, and a few sneaks on. Cookie's trying to shoot them away, but eventually he's going to get forced off by Ignis. A lot of cap time on this last point now. So the rest of the team trying to play the area ground. The Uber comes down from the side of the Bugs EU, but looking potentially to try and hold this strong, I think. A lot of frags right now. Cookie's trying to follow up now, but too many players at the point. Hildreth Sticky's now onto the point. It's just a general mayhem on this last. Mentalex already there, and eventually the pressure aside, Lowpander are going to equalise this game 2-all.
Yeah, on the second round, the heavy worked much better than the first try. Just on the second, he just brought them so much free space to begin with, and on last move, he just committed in late. Everybody had to pay attention for that, and everybody was just able to walk in on Lowpander, recommit properly, get a huge collapse going on the point, and with that much time on the point, they couldn't not be predictable positioned on the point. So well done by Lowpander getting back to his tight scoreline.
Yeah, same story it seems to Lowpander on this bit. Ricky kind of coming, gets a body shot onto Jinx and shoots upwards, probably emulating the spy crab there, as he's going to be re-peeking his big door. As the rest of Lowpander look to take space now, the early soldier pick. We got Uber's jumping down underneath, trying to get onto Ignis, I think, or even Bloodis. And a lot of frags now going away of Lowpander. Tomness is trying to jump away, trying to take some attention, but he's going to get juggled up by both the Scout. Easy pickings for them as they look to steal this mid cap.
Yeah, and I like this much better in terms of playing around the sniper. They went up enemy side eventually, meaning that everybody's forced to be in a position where Mookie has a free sideline. He got a pick from it, and he got a pick at the beginning as well, as you mentioned, onto the somewhat predictable soldier at this point. It's the fifth mid even, and it's been the same story every time he went sniper, just Jinx jumping in. So more or less, you can see him coming now. And Rockshot is finding out this time around.
Mickey trying to go for another hero shot, but Stickies were already there. Turbo getting that easy kill right there. Gonna have another pyro set for this last defense for the Bugs EU, along with a heavier Bloodist, as they look to try and hold their ground for this. 2-all currently halfway in this game for this grand final fixture for Division 1 between Lowpander and the Bugs. Lowpander trying to strategize some sort of push, and Tomness is going to have an early peek in, but Hildreth's going to force him off. And we're going to have a Mickey Pyro actually on this last push.
Yeah, and we have Blood is currently checking stuff on Spy. Seeing as people were dead, it's always a good idea to just check. Doesn't keep playing Spy for now. Goes heavy, in fact. And yeah, it's just always a good idea to just check real quickly if somebody who just died switched to an off class, and he sees the Wookiee Pyro.
He sees him Mickey some point already, getting some easy cap time. He's going to get some reflex as well onto Jinxie, I think, as the rest of the Lowpander probably looking to capitalise on their damage. Mickey has all this space, the reflex still! Loads of cap time now for Lowpander to play up now. Blood is going to eat a sandwich, but eventually it's going to get spanned off by the Stickies of Hildreth, I think. No, he just gets knocked back enough, and the Uber comes out onto him, and double kill as well. What is this last defense?
Mookie just caused so much chaos now, Pyro on the point, and Lowpander was just able to do whatever they wanted as a response of that. And it worked just fine. They get the force out, they managed to position Champagne safely outside in second. And sometimes chaos can be good if you are the one controlling it.
Especially so, now that Lowpander now have a full advantage coming into this last now. No, I think Mickey heavy again for this last push. They're going to probably utilise him in the push, as they're going to follow up on Mr. Epic actually. He's going to try and walk in onto Mentalex, but Bloodis is there to take some sort of ground off of him. Ibis gets a nice rocket onto Ignis on the right side, as the rest of Lowpander try to jump forward. A lot of cap time already, it's just Turbo on this point now, knocked down to low HP, and eventually the cap time's going to go away with Lowpander. 3-2 the scoreline now.
Yeah, Lowpander is really consistently good at creating advantages, and it just goes such a long way of being able to claw back from a 2-0 deficit back up to a 2-3 scoreline, now in the lead for the first time in this game.
Yes, the Bugs reeling off that last round. They're going to be walking in. I saw Bloodis previously switching to Spy, checking for any more shenanigans, but none the sort for Lowpander. Mickey with a big jump in going into big doors, trying to think it was an market guard there, but doesn't matter. Gets slammed, I think, by Tomness. As the rest of the Bugs trying to get some sort of ground onto the Scouts, Mr. Epic and Cookie both going down. As the rest of the Bugs look to try and hold this. Ubis now straps back on behind them last, but eventually going to get knocked down by the Soldier of Jinxie, as the Bugs get a comfortable mid-win there.
Yeah, that wasn't even an enemy side approach, just people jumping straight into the Lowpander combo and getting rewarded with huge amounts of damage. Scouts walking in quickly as well, getting follow-up 3 picks on mid. And we currently have 2 snipers that probably will realize any second. Yep, there we go. We'll keep back on Soldier. One claim that class for now. And that's something the Bugs certainly have to watch out for.
Yeah, Mr. Epic and Sniper definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially on last defenses. You could get some crazy picks, I'm pretty sure. Generally, normal last defense. I actually got Bloody going into water, probably trying to get some early cap time. I think Ubis maybe called it and set up on here, but maybe doesn't see behind it. We'll see it now. Blooddy's now locked down in that water area, as Hildress was looking to sticky up the door as well. So Blooddy's completely cornered right now and potentially be going down. As the rest of the Bugs try to take some space, eventually Blooddy's does go down to the rockets of Ubis. So
yeah,
Bugs,
2 down is decent. You can at least make some plays. It's always difficult to just push or last like this with just 2 picks, but certainly possible to get some plays. And then mono sniping is the way to go about it for now. But there's sticks, and it's kind of a common spot, so he's not committing to the shutter, just waiting for stuff to happen. But Lowpander's, or the Bugs are just comfortable sitting in Victor waiting for the spawners to come back in, so not much happened off of those 2 picks for now.
yeah, still a lot of time to be played with for this game right now. So Bugs probably buying the time, trying to come up with a proper strategy for this last push. And Mr. Epic actually going to get an early headshot onto Jinxie there. So could see a potential counter stack now on the side of Lowpander if they're committing to it. But I think Cookie's comfortable. He's got his sentry and Spencer set up.
Yeah, Mon switched to Spy now, switching after pick classes, not trying to stay predictable. The question is what will happen of it, and he is just sitting there checking, probably seeing the Ballad of Spy, so...
Yeah, he's disguised as a sniper as well, so Lowpander probably repositioning it to counter that, and the knowledge that there might be a sniper there. But he's going to be looking into secret now, just getting some general information for his team, which is so valuable on this last point. Eventually, he's going to get bumped in by Mookie, and that calls goes down. So Bloodis going down there, and that's another player down for the side of the Bug CU. Looking to still hold comfortably on this hold, I think. Waiting for any sort of opening before they push in, I believe.
Yeah, and this just goes to show how effective checking can be if you know what you're doing, and they did check for the Spy effectively, got him caught off position really early. Thomas tries to go in from low, trying to sneak it, kill onto the sniper in lobby, but both soldiers are positioned in a way that the sniper will stay safe. Mon gets out of lobby safely, and yeah, compared to how Lowpander played this into last, the Bugs are certainly struggling with creating any sort of advantage so far.
Yeah, taking a bit more aggressive stance now. They've got Bloodis Sniper pushing the balcony. The rest of the team's in lobby now, as opposed to Big Door.
Yeah, we heard Banner being popped out, and whose is it? Let's see. It's Mookie, certainly, and Mr. Epic, not Mr. Epic, who was also responsible. We
can deep in onto them, and we're really getting an easy kill to him. I actually get the scout as well, but this eventually cleans him up. Bloodis trying to get in, but Mr. Epic ready to counter that sniper, getting the pick onto Bloodis. So potential push-up opportunity here for Lowpander, trying to push out now. They're going to be stacked up in this lobby area and waiting for Mr. Epic, probably to get a sight line into River, but eventually he's going to back off into lobby again. So
also, correct me if I'm wrong, I just saw it in the corner of my eye, but was it the actual buff banner, the mini-crits one? Because it looked like it, and you don't see that often, people just tend to avoid it in favor of just using crits. But they have double banners, so that's a whole different story, I would assume.
Yeah, Banner's certainly a useful tool for these pushes if you want to get extra defense or damage in. And actually they're going to push out here. Ventilex trying to get the onto I think it's Jinxie actually, and he's going to be walking on the right side. Getting completely denied though, I think. The sentry gun, the Spencer, and Thomas is getting juggled inside. He's going to get eaten up by Ubers, as the rest of Lowpander look to try and push out for this potentially.
Yeah, Champagne kited the damage so well in the dispenser, just letting the dispenser take all the damage instead of her, and having to pop quite late, giving them some space. But they only caught out Thomas at the end there, so not too many picks have been gotten, and without any of those, they are not getting anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, Lowpander just looking to hold their ground basically. Round up, coming into 9 minutes left on this map right now, so Lowpander not looking to take any strides in this next push. I think they're quite comfortable with this lead as it is. As the rest of the Bugs trying to re-strategize and get some sort of pushing. Heard another banner going off somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Ubers, it's the battalion's backup, so about 30% for defense, I'm sure, and some sentry resistance, which won't matter for them. But main course here is having the defense up.
So, yeah, it's going to be cut off now. Uber's now letting rip of his rockets as the rest of the team tries to scramble now. The Champagne's duking a lot, and eventually has them to use their excellent move there for Champagne as the rest of Lowpander look to rush forwards. 3 picks down on the side of WCU. And actually got Jinxie trapped up in this river area. He's going to go down.
And there's only a few people left on last that aren't close.
Eventually gets picked off by Ubers. Very lucky, very fortunate there for Lowpander, and they're going to get the second cap, denying any sort of more back cap opportunities there. So Lowpander with the momentum looking to try and push into this midpoint, with only Turbo contesting from his choke, and he's probably looking to back off. Ignis trapped in the forward spawn, definitely has to back spawn, I think, to get some sort of Lowpander starting to get a capstone. Actually, a lot of the Bugsy EU players trying to peek out right now. We've got Tumnas in the... Mike, he's got to be very careful not to get caught by the stickies of Hildrift, because the rest of the team looks to walk. Another banner comes off. It's going to be the buff banner, mini crits now for the side of Lowpander trying to push out. They're going to be forcing their way, and huge damage onto Turbo, and he eventually gets down to the rockets of Wiki. But then two frag back on the side of the Bugsy EU to try and like crit a situation. Only 3 players up for the side of the Lowpander right now. It's just Ubers and Hildrift doing the damage right now. And Jixie's going to try and come in on the back lines trying to recalibrate. But eventually the Uber gets to come out. Ubers gets another kill onto Jinxie. And now Lowpander looks to push out onto the second point. Another bad hit goes off. I think it's the backup again. So the defense buff coming in potentially on the side of Lowpander. As the rest of the bugs look to try and fight in for river area. Uber's going ham right now on the 7k current. And the rest of this team trying to clean up these frags. I do slightly awkward Uber from the side of the Bugsy EU, eventually backing up into lobby. And they're going to be looking to set up on this last defense. Slight Uber advantage as well with the side of Lowpander coming into this. Hilda trying to lead subsequently the zone, but it looks like Lowpander going to be setting up for this last hot push.
And at the current rate, Lowpander will have banner at any given point, just popping banners one after another. Every time they need an advantage, just pop a banner, have mini crits, have basically the opposite of mini crits, 40% damage resistance, and it's come a long way from last to this, so it's been working out quite well. Obviously you need to always pay attention to the downsides, and that is that you don't have like the gunboats or shotguns or no other tool on your side.
So yeah, this last push is going to come in now. Lowpander using a very early Uber, I think, onto main there. They've got to be careful not to like get caught out here. A lot of flashes as well on the side of the Lowpander. And eventually the Uber comes out and Ventilex. He's going to drop Jinxie though on this Uber. Uber's trying to go for a big jump, I think, onto point, but eventually gets cleaned up by Tumnas.
Wookie's still there though. He's sneaking up on a point, gets a nice rocket and just wins the fight. But no, that is just up on time.
He still has it!
Still not working!
The big rockets from him and the juggles as well, clearing off that point. And that's going to be another round for Lowpander. Unbelievable.
And the consistency with the sneaky plays is just way too good on Lowpander, and the Bugs just not paying enough attention quite yet. And if it goes bad like this twice, it just what are you gonna expect the next time around?
Another big jump in from Dixie. He's done that a fair amount of times these bids. He's going to jump back eventually to his medic. The rest of Lowpander get in position. Tumnas getting air shot. I think it was by rocket from Ubers. As the rest of Lowpander look push forwards. Frag's starting to go their way. That's 5 gamers down. This is going to be a full wipe. Turbo the last to die. And it's a full wipe for Lowpander going into this mid. And they'll be looking to make strides into second and last potentially.
Yeah, really great soldier bombs on mid. Nicely coordinated, getting huge amounts of damage, getting them all the way to last already without even having kept up second, just waiting for people to move through the doors.
Spawn camp. Will he see it? Oh, Turbo doesn't see it. He goes down to the sticky. The rest of Lowpander looking to hold forwards. Uber's trying to make some spam into left side, and actually the Uber goes off. It could be maybe costly if they manage to get their players out, but it looks like they're holding down well. Both soldiers eventually coming out, and the Pyro as well from the side of the Bugsy EU. A lot of space now being denied, and so Ignis tries to walk forward with his flamethrower. Uber's trying to get in on the rocket with a nice rocket onto Jinxie. But I think Lowpander actually be the lesser of this. Not been in position to do any sort of big push here, and Cookie's going to go out very late.
But Mon is well. Again another point, just waiting for it, and it's been going well for them 2 times already when they tried, and there's nobody
not like
last,
this.
just wide open.
No, these stupid plays are getting hammered by these. It's going to be 5-2 now to Lowpander with about 4 minutes left of the game. To another back cat. What is happening on these last pushes? They're just not looking at
and the last push as well didn't even go too well for them. Like the moment they popped the Uber was just way too early. They didn't get just about anything done with it. But what does that matter if you can just backcap every time and the Bugs are just not ready for it?
Another Jinxie bomb coming in again. He's going to get the rocket guard onto Champagne. Huge stuff from him, but it's going to cost his team now, as they're going to be down to 1 player. Ignis is going to be the last to die, surely on the sniper class. Despite that big play, not going to be enough. Actually, he managed to pick up Champagne during that exchange, so that's some sort of consolation. But yeah, big jump in there for Jinxie, eventually getting that market guard the kill. I think he was craving for since the first mid, to be honest.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the market guard kill might look good on the logs, but probably not as good as the win at the end, so might be good in the moment, but in the long run it didn't really change too much. Everybody just got picked apart on mid, and
we had Ventilex and Spy briefly there who just went down to Uber. So I think it's safe to say that the Bugs are potentially giving up this map if you got your red switch to Spy. The Lowpander players coming into your last eventually. probably looking to try and remake ground into Granary.
Yeah, but that's just a sign of how the game went. Like, it's gotten into their head. It's just, they had such a good start, and then it's like slowly but surely slipped out of their control up until this point. And I think Mandy just switching off is like a perfect showcase of how that goes in their head. Just, we can't do it anymore, and that's not a good mindset to have in the first map of a best of 5. Or best of 3, really.
Yeah, and the lack of appeals as well potentially like takes away any sort of comeback opportunity. I mean, of course, the time is against it.
At the beginning of that round, maybe there was with 3 minutes and 3 rounds, but at this point, not really. 2 minutes left, so it's kind of justified in that, but that's the only thing that justifies it, really.
The interesting thing would be to see if there's any more big shots like that hair shot there from Hildrift and the 7-2 scoreline potentially for the Lowpander coming up.
Well, with automatic, it's certainly possible. They're flashing as much as they can on a point, just for show, and eventually they get around. So 2-6, 2 Lowpander, minute 40 left. Is certainly enough time. We went into the last round with 3 minutes left, so it's possible. It's just a matter of how well these Bucks players can hold this off. And we see Bloodus on Magic for this bit.
Yeah, the admin taking charge of his team right now for this last few seconds of the game, coming up to 90 seconds down after the time. Jeremy trash time now, but a lot of the Bucks players will try and push out a big door. Hildrift getting an early pipe into Jinxie as well as the rest of the team tries to push forwards. Ignis as well on the sniper trying to get some more headshots potentially. He's going to get denied by the demo man of Hildrift, I think. But yeah, a lot of picks actually going their side as well as Turban looks to try and get an air shot. Doesn't quite work out.
Bloodus gets some medical on his logs as well now.
Mickey on the fire just walking in.
But actually worked.
Nearly hit that reflect arrow as well, but eventually Bloodus might die to Afterburn.
Yeah, he does die to Afterburn eventually.
So yeah, this is going to be the first map definitely to Lowpander. Looks like a 6-2 scoreline.
Can't close this out by Scorlo in the end, so the last 40 seconds still need to be played. And yeah, well deserved by Lowpander. They just found weaknesses in the Bucks' play later down the round, about like 10-15 minutes in, and just abused them perfectly, one of which certainly was the packet potential that just was wide open every single time they went for it.
Also, I think there's already logs up for this game right now, so that might be worth taking a look at to see how this game really went down in the numbers. But yeah, first map going to Lowpander, 6-2, comfortable scoreline. They'll be going into Granary with a 1-0 map, and on Division 1 point, I guess, to get that Premiership spot.
Yeah, it was certainly an interesting game, and like I said before, the Bucks just starting out much stronger, and like getting 2 rounds relatively quickly. Look at the time, 2.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes, just getting 2 relatively quick rounds early. But eventually Lowpander just got the hang of it, really, and it just slowly
snowballed from there,
went
really.
bad from there, yeah.
Looking at these logs, I'm kind of surprised because immediately at the top frag, I actually see Turbo.
Yeah, he
having
has
a very
some
strong
insane
game.
pipes this entire game, so.
But yeah, top frag with 24th to 16, which is very strong scoreline from Demo Man. Closely followed by Mookie with 23, and then Mr. Epic on 22. Hildrift managed to top damage as well for his team, so generally good damage denial from him, as you'd expect.
Well, I must say, I'm not a big fan of how they utilize the sniper to mid a lot of the times. Just kinda having him there to just force a trade at best, but most of the time it was just Mookie dying. He did make a little bit of space in a few of the occasions, but just every time it was the same story, just Jinx jumping in with like slightly different results every time, depending on who had the better beginning to that. Once it was like Mookie getting the mid-air body shot, most of the times it was just Jinx getting it for free, so that's something that I most certainly didn't like about how Lowpander played. The heavy onto last was kind of interesting. When they tried to just brute force their way in with a heavy on the push, it really didn't go anywhere. The second time around, and the push where they won that round eventually was much better, getting like denying anyone easy entry into second to the point where they can just roll it back into second themselves and just deny easy space with the heavy on and protecting the medic. And then on last, on that same round, just like parking the heavy there while everybody recommits and is distracted by the heavy in front of them. So some of their strats were interesting and worked, some of them not so much.
Yeah, and so we're going to come into Granary right now. Where do you think the Bugs EU? Where do you think they are right now? Because they're going to come into this match. They're going to be thinking, right, we lost Gully, even though we beat them in the regular season in it. We came up to Granary and we beat them in the regular season as well. What do you think needs to change to get Mounts to sort of come back and potentially take it to a third map on process?
Just not let it get into your head. Just like stay focused and try to actively fix what went wrong, because as we saw, Lowpander seems to be really keen on like abusing any mistake they find in a team over and over again if given the opportunity. So just find out what goes bad quickly before it's too late.
Yeah, indeed. So we're going to be waiting for our gamers on the second map right now.
Yeah,
Panda with a
Granary.
1-map lead, so if they win Granary, they're going to be promoted to Premiership and be Division 1 champions as well in the process. So all to play for in this next map. Bugs need to come back into this to try and force a third map into process, like I said earlier. So all to play for right now, I think.
Yeah, and Granary is definitely a map where the backups are certainly fairly in play. So it's just a lot of it will come down to how much they pay attention to it if it comes to them being like stuck on last for a while, and they can't allow that to happen anymore.
Yeah, as we saw before, a lot of backcaps actually coming in from the side of Lowpander there. I think Vicky got one and Mr. Epic had another. There might have been a third in there somewhere, which I can't remember. But yeah, definitely the pushing out from last to second game needs to improve on the side of Bugs EU, who did it to try and stop losing these silly rounds, I have to say. And give them as much of a chance for this next map.
Yeah, and we had from both teams a little bit of like great soldier coordination on these mids, and Granary is certainly a map where that matters just as much, if not a little bit more, than on Gullywash. So I'm looking forward to see which soldier duo has the better coordination. Now, you can be individually as good as a soldier as you want to be at roughly about this level of play. If you just can't do stuff with somebody else, it just instantly becomes that much worse in comparison to your competition. So yeah, these coordinated soldier things on this mid fight will come a long way.
Yeah, it looks like we have nearly all our gamers in. We've got Mentalex and Spec at the moment. They're just like deciding teams, I think, arguing which side they would prefer to be on. It looks like Lowpander are going to end up on the blue side, with the Bugs going to be on the red side.
I was looking forward to a heavy fist fight.
Yeah, denied the opportunity, lads. Step up your game.
Well, it also means that probably the team names on the wrong sides on the HUD, which is always great. Oh no, it looks like Wiethoofd has quickly stepped up this game to fix it immediately. So props for that. And yeah, it will be going to be for the second map. We saw a few, like, certainly Mookie, or coming from Mookie strats, like the heavy and pyro and last, and both of which working decently well. On this map, historically speaking, we've seen heavy in the past before onto last, so it's been done, but in recent times, not as much. It's fallen out of favor even more than on Gullywash.
I would stop there because we're about to go live right now. Going to be map 2 of this Division 1 Grand Final. Lowpander currently leading by 1-0. If they win Granary, they'll be your Division 1 champions and be progressing to the Premiership div. They'll be looking at Turbo for this mid, actually coming out on the left side right now. Looking to try and get some general area now. Arrives at the same time as Hildreth, so the rest of the team starts to flood in. No general off-class shenanigans from what I can see. It's going to be a general mid-fight. Vicky with a big jump in, trying to take some attention away, and Jigsy does the same to the right side. A lot of damage being spread around, a lot of health being taken away from the side of the Bugs EU, and actually going to cost them 3 players suddenly down on their side as the rest of Lowpander looks to try and push forward. We've got Cookie and Mentalex as well, picking him off, so that's no med for the side of the Bug. Generally, it's going to be a full wipe, I think. Thomas trying to go for a late jump in, but not to avail. Champagne's still alive, and that's an easy mid-win there for Lowpander.
Yeah, you can have as much soldier coordination if you want, but if there's a strong scout duo in front of you, it's kinda not going anywhere. And On and Cookie showing just that, taking a big time for this mid fight, killing up most players, I want to say, but we'll get them all the way to second for sure, getting Menti as well. Big advantage for us. Sniper up on the defense, sentry up as well. Now the sniper is just switching from Jinx to Ignis on the other side.
I think what happened there is they had two snipers once again, but they just realised their mistake and had to switch back. So eventually going to add back up to keep it legit, as the rest of the team on Lowpander is going to try and push up the right side right now. Ignis with an early pick up the Champagne, the drop there, that's going to probably kill some aggression, but it looks to be still committing. Cookie trying to go in, he gets absolutely denied by the sentry there. The rest of Lowpander trying to probably scramble back to their back lines and just reset this push here, but Tomness having none of it, trying to get some rockets onto the hill roof. He's knocked down to really low HP, and eventually it's going to be Mickey actually getting the pick onto Jinxie in the flank there. So fairly scrambled fight here on the second point.
Yeah, keep in mind, Mickey doesn't have, so they don't have that much of a safety net, only one being having heals, which does go quite a while for them to be able to do stuff, but they still need to be careful to protect their medic to any incoming just sacks.
Yeah, Blood is getting called out there in the flank as well to Ubers, so they'll have a pick down on the side of Bugsy U. Rest of the Panda looking to try and build up the super, but they know Mentalex is an Uber advantage, a significant one at that, about 50% I believe. So looking to try and rebuild this, potentially get some extra frags there.
Gets another pick behind though before he dies, just putting so much work on the flank and just slowing them down so much. Lowpander now on 70% again after the drop.
Yeah, and the rest of the Bugs are trying to come on his right side here. No, as of yet, Hildreth's going to probably get caught out here by the scout of Ignis, rushing on this left side now, trying to get some more picks. Yeah, Cookie and Hildreth going down in that push as the rest of the Lowpander look to fall back onto this second on their own second. But Mr. Epic actually going to walk in with the super now, trying to get the force into Mentalex, which he does indeed. Good work there from Mr. Epic, trying to get some more frags in. Mentalex briefly flashing there, and actually Battalion's backup coming, I think, from Mickey right now.
Oh, Thomas is on the left side.
As the rest of the team tries to push forward to this defense, but Ubis dies to his own rockets there. I think it was probably some splash damage from himself. As the rest of Lowpander try to weak the situation, but a lot of the players down right now, but eventually getting the exchange onto their team. And 3 players now on the side of Bugsy U on this general scrambled fight.
Banner this time with Spookies, but he's not popped it quite yet. What is it? It's the conch, so speed and slide.
It's buff banner for mini crits.
Oh yeah, it looked like the conch for a second.
So probably looking to hold this as soon as they see the gamers, they're going to probably use that in and just get general damage I think onto turbo. But
I think they can afford to wait for spawners for half a second.
Mickey going to use it in now, getting some easy mini crits onto their side, launches up the demo man, not able to get the air shot there. Eventually gets to pick up the ton mass, but eventually can't die. It dies to the side of the turbo. So could have been worse I think for the side of the Bugsy U, but being a bit fortunate there with that mini crit spawn.
Yeah, it worked in the end. Just banners everywhere, dictating the pace of the game, both on mid here and on second now. And then you just rotate over to the flank by Lowpander, walk over Jinx, get a pick to work with, have the spawners come out any second, and both teams have the Uber now.
Yeah, Lowpander has placed a lot in this Slugfox area briefly actually, and actually going to use in Uber's getting an early pick onto Mentalex as well, so no heals on the side of the Bugsy U. It should be very bad for their last hold I think. Slow Captain now coming out on the side of Lowpander, so let's try and make the most of the situation with no heals on the side of the Bugsy U and get the first round on the board. Blood is trying to get back now to his side of the line, into spawn now. But he's going to have to fight Mr. Epic now on this buffs. Trying to win this fight actually on the right side as the rest of the Lowpander looks to try to push in on the left side. Generally trying to take some space. Cookie jumping over onto the side of I think it was Tom that's there, but eventually gets picked off. Mickey in late with this Uber from Champagne now. General scramble round to try and defend this last as the rest of the Bugsy U try to walk forwards. Lowpander trying to get as much time on this point as possible. Eventually going to get it. Uber's on. It's just turbo on the defense trying to get some purchase, but not enough. First round going to Lowpander. Second round even going to Lowpander right there.
Yeah, it's a little bit scrambled there in the end, but they definitely wanted to use this Uber as late as they could. It costed them some players at the beginning, and then the Uber wasn't quite as effective as they wanted it to be, so it ended up being a really messy fight. And most of the win condition there was just having a medic on the field compared to Venti being dead pretty much the entire time. So they just had just enough advantages coming into this that they could afford to waste a few and go in the lead now.
So yeah, Bugs again on the receiving end. I'm going to be looking at Tomness for a bit to see how the soldier coordination is here. Another big jump here from Mickey trying to take some attention away. He's going to try and get into Mentalex with this shovel, but it doesn't quite work out. Ego's going to go down early, as the rest of the Bugsy U trying to get some more picks of their own. 3 players only up on the side of Lowpander now, so this should be a comfortable with win I think for the side of the Bugsy U. And indeed it will be the Scouts of the Cat, 2 players up on the Lowpander, and the ship should be pushing comfortably to second.
Yeah, and despite how bad this went, they managed to get Champagne out safely, which is always such a good thing to have after mid-fights that just go bad. To be able to save your medic and keep your Uber up for last, meaning sure you lose space all the way to your last, but it won't go quickly from there again. And already we have Jinx on Spy. Is he actually doing stuff with it? Yes, he is. Disguised as friendly sniper, probably one of the best disguises you can have.
But speaking of snipers, we got Cookie Sniper right now on the right side. Probably looking to prey on any sort of unsuspecting Bugs gamer that tries to walk in on the right now. Pretty passive play here from the rest of the Bugs EU, probably looking to try and get some purchase. We've got Jinxie working his way in now on the right side, probably trying to get the pick onto Cookie to deny that sniper sort of play from him.
It doesn't look like Lowpander has any clue about low tracking this time. Jinx just positioned behind him, seeing where people are, what is there to get. Mookie also on the airstrike, which I don't quite know what the theory is here, but he surely does. So let's just have faith that it makes sense in his head.
Jinxie waiting for some sort of distraction, I think, before he tries to commit to the pick. Probably looking for Champagne. Actually gets bumped in by Mr. Epic, jumping around. They're going to know there's a spy there, as the rest of them spam in, and eventually gets picked off by the DuMmTm.
Just openly standing there like that is probably not the best idea. Spy, somebody is bound to jump into you, and when it happens, and there it is. Jinx spy play again, denied. So yeah, just standing around there. Not too effective as Spy.
Cookie and really deep on this right side, trying to get some sort of purchase onto. Probably needs someone to beat the door for him to try and get some sort of peek onto potentially Mentalex actually, but I think Mentalex is positioned quite forwards on the left side. So just a general slow game right now. We've got Mookie spamming the airstrike up top, so probably trying to farm some frags perhaps to try and get that clip up for the last hold.
But last time we had this in Gullywash, the Bugs struggled so much with like creating any sort of advantage compared to how effective Lowpander was at it. It's just a position where Lowpander probably feels fairly confident in, and Ubers just taking a 1v1 with Blood certainly goes to show that, but Mookie also going a little bit ahead of himself, just wants to walk forward. Thomas takes him out and returns him off. Teams one down, and there's Cookie on Sniper, who wins the Sniper fight, makes a little bit more possible for his team now.
Yeah, going to be in the backlines right now, so the rest of the Bugs look to try and hold this passively. Eventually, Lowpander going to start toe capping this, trying to get onto Hildrift, keep the hills in the Hildrift to try and get some cap time now. But the rest of the Bugs looking to try and commit to this. Maybe could potentially get an Uber usage on here, as Hildrift is generally denying that shutter area with the stickies.
Yeah,
got Cookie back on Scout right now, trying to get some sort of advantage, potentially in Lunchbox, I guess.
You can just tell how both teams want the other team to use, but without committing really much to it, so it's just a little bit of spam at the point, seeing if they can find damage onto anyone. But not really much happening with that. Mookie into drop down now, coming in behind, could go a long way. He's behind him, nobody checks it. Huge distraction coming out Landbook as well, actually getting 2 picks on their own, with Mookie getting one of the 2, and getting out safely as well. Not getting the forces, not quite optimal, but the 2 picks will help them just pass out of the second point into yard.
Yeah, the Bugs had such a huge rotation coming from right to left there, so but no chance for Lowpander to take advantage of it. Another banner from Tomnas, I think, going to be his backup. As the rest of the Lowpanders walk in, Champagne drops one in that Uber though, so that's going to be a player down for the side of Lowpander. As the Uber fight pans out, Jinxie going to get a big bomb into the left side, trying to take the space, as the rest of Lowpander have to back off of that early pick there from Mr. Epic going down.
Yeah, the buff banner usage from Mookie this time not too optimal, just popped it during an Uber exchange basically, not really getting any value of the damage increase, so doesn't really help that much, and he will die for his troubles as well. So does Jinx though on the other side.
Yeah, Bugs trying to get some sort of pincer movement in on this right side. You've got Bloodis on point right now, so the rest of Lowpander look to back off. Hildrift's going back for heals in his own spawn area. As Bugs look to try and easily take the second cap.
Yeah, and the Lowpander banner switch not being too effective on this map just yet, so it's been going all the way back to last, and Bugs not really having much more to go right now. It's even Ubers. Cookie already back to Sniper, just seeing what he can get, just standing back there waiting for somebody to open the door, seeing what is in his sideline, and he's been hitting shots, so it's not too bad. And that's Thomas
on the Champagne, huge surf from Champagne, blocking that rocket, and eventually Thomas is going to die there. Lovely surf there for Champagne, keeping that Uber as well.
Yeah, and on this level of play, you need a little bit more than that. You should have somebody in position to spam as support, or have a scout close to follow up, which would have helped so much in this situation. Champagne surfing it way out of danger for Thomas to do anything, but close to the entrances to last, where somebody could have come in and got the follow up, but none of that happening, so it doesn't really accomplish too much, this bomb by Thomas, and each team keep on relying on their snipers for now.
Snipers on both teams right now, as you mentioned. We've got Cookie and Ignis right now. Cookie going to get knocked down to low HP for Tomnas, but Tomnas himself is going to get picked by Hildrift. And Ignis will get a pick on the Hildrift as well. Open up so much space now from the side of the Bugsy. Indeed, they're going to flood in on this left side, probably going to commit the Uber as well. Trying to take as much space before they pop it. Had to use it here. Lowpander going to use earlier and try and flash onto Mr. Epic. Eventually Menti has to use, trying to save his Dimmer Man now, so the rest of the team tries to push in the left side. Getting some space now. Turbo trying to get some stick to the point. The rest of Lowpander scrambling to try and defend this last point. And actually seems to be working at this rate. A lot of damage now onto Mentalex backing up, and Cookie's looking to pick up the cleanup right now. Just Turbo and Menti together now. And Mr. Epic wants that kill, but he's going to get surfed away. Defense banner coming out from Ubers now, but he's going to get picked up by Tomnas. Tomnas not looking to commit to this last push, as he knows this game was there. Probably looking to try and get some sort of pick. Some late pick. Got Mentalex trying to arrow Tomnas, but not quite working. He gets a rocket onto Champagne, but that's 2 players down for the side of the Bugs. But Jinxie in with the reply.
And he did do a free pay for that, man. And the scouts are just in off of that. Walking over one, walking over Cookie as well. Huge turnaround, but they still need to cap second. There's a sliver of hope left if Ubers can't do anything here.
Yeah, we've got 5 seconds to the respawn wave, so Ubers going to know it's going to be around for easily for the Bugs. They're going to stat this out. The spawn's just come out, but it's not enough. It's going to be equalizer there for the Bugs EU. 1-all.
Yeah, playmakers coming in clutchy, Jinx from behind getting a 3k, completely turning this around. Scouts a quick in of the follow-up, and we had on the first last push where they barely didn't get it. They just realized, let's park on the point and have sticks on it, but Turo just barely missed the timing, didn't hit anything with it, and it just cost them so much time here in the end to come back into last again. But they did manage to do it with a really successful play, so 1-all.
I'm going to be option with Wiki for this bit. Going in really deep on the left side actually. No, so I'm just spotting him yet. He's going to try and get a rocket onto one of the scanners and just generally take space.
Soda bomb behind him.
It's a huge bomb stove from the side of the Bugs. Getting 5 picks right there. There's going to be a late pummeling from Mookie who's like hiding in garage, but that's a complete wipe. Excellent,
yeah, I think the Soda's got 4 people together, just really well coordinated onto balcony. Huge damage coming up at the first one, the second one gets pretty much all the follow-up, and after that just scout cleanup from there. So huge stuff, well coordinated bomb by Thomas and Jinx, and this goes such a long way. Already peeking into last, seeing what sort of defense they have to deal with, and so far it's only a Cookie heavy as the Uber comes in.
Yeah, you got Mr. Epic in the background now, signed up. Eventually going to be forced to switch off. No purchase there. Cookie goes down early as the rest of the soldiers trying to come in now. Don't know, a lot of spam, explosive spam on this point. Low hit health on the Lowpander side as well. But all the frags going their way. 2 players up now for the side of the Bugs EU as Ignis and Turbo try to scramble for point time. It's going to be Turbo coming in now, but eventually it doesn't work out. Eventually a full wipe there with the side of the Bugs as Lowpander looks to push forwards.
The level of coordination we had on mid was clearly lacking here on last. Just let's focus the picks, let's focus the cap, let's have a little bit of both, and nothing really coming out of either of those. And in the end, Lowpander has just an easy time kiting the Uber really well and works out just fine. And Jinx is spy behind. We had a successful spy play earlier, but can Jinx do it now after his one wasn't the one being successful so far?
Yeah, he's going to be jumping in. Actually, going to get back to Champagne here. And misses the stab. He's going to have to be fired the revolver, but it's not enough. He's on the Latrange. There's not enough damage there. Come on, Jinxie. And he's going to go down.
Did Champagne get a saw? I didn't see.
Maybe, but she's on 100% now. That answers his question. So, Lowpander with a super coming in for slight advantage as well. 20% right now. It's going to be fading fast. They're going to be looking to capitalise this as soon as possible. Trying to get on the second point right now. They've got Bloodless positioned in the lunchbox as the rest of his team's on the right side right now. Uber does come out on Lowpander right now, trying to get that mental X-Force, which indeed he does. Nice rockets there from Uber's trying to get that force in. Eventually, Lowpander going to have to back off right now as the rest of the Bugs are positioned on the second point, trying to hold their ground. We've got a bunch of gamers from Lowpander coming into the lunchbox area, taking the initial attention away. Uber's going to get juggled on his left side, eventually just nearly dies there, like the jump down the balcony, saving his life. As Lowpander looks to get the second cap.
Another one. That's 3 down right now, and this will certainly steamroll into last. Lowpander already on the way. Mon, hilt of charging, tackling on the point, getting the damage to the turbo down. He was straight onto the medic, only Ignis that is spawning, but not nearly in time. And well done by Lowpander to scope for that, like, changed it. In theory, really didn't do anything, it just got the Evers of the equation, and then both teams just kind of left point again. But quick rotation by like 3 people into the flank side, huge distraction, they had to take care of that. Combo comes in the meantime and deals the huge damage on top of that, and just really well done.
But yeah, excellent coast to coast there from Lowpander, coming off their last defense and going straight to the Bugs' last to reply with a round of their own. It's going to be 2-1 now to Lowpander on the second map. Hildreth trying to get some initial stickies onto the scouts right now. Jinxie going in for another huge bomb on the right side. It's going to be coordinated with Tomnas as well. A lot of damage coming in, but not enough frags though. A lot of the frags going the way of Lowpander actually. 4 players.
Onto Menti. with the asteroid getting the pick. Champagne one with the arrow too. Only blood is left on it. It's just scrambling to stay alive. That's not gonna happen.
It's comfortable with win there for Lowpander. Just having generally a lot more rockets and damage than decided the bugs. They had some excellent coordination, I think, for the soldiers. Just not enough rockets coming in, I think. So
yeah,
eventually Lowpander going to come off
where
of
the
this.
Mookie theory comes in. He went airstrike to it, trying to just go into the skybox and just rain down rockets. But that didn't quite work too well. He just went behind, went for the non-con play, and that worked out just fine, catching out Monty on the escape.
But yeah, Bug's set up with a heavy on this last sequence right now. Full Uber for the side of Lowpander. Coming in, plugging in on this right side now. Champagne's going to use it as late as possible, eventually getting spammed down, as Hildrift's going to take the majority of the Uber. Jinxie trying to jump in behind on the pipe right now. As the rest of the Lowpander just getting easy cap time right now. As the Bug's looking to try and scramble. There's so much cap time on this, you've got to think it's going to be a Lowpander round, surely. As the rest of the damage goes their way, eventually you're going to tap up the point enough. That's going to be 3-1 to Lowpander.
Yeah, much like last game, it's just the Bugs have a strong start, but they just can't keep it together in the long con, and Lowpander just both times starting to pull ahead. Now a little bit sooner than last time as well, 12 minutes into the game, 3-1 lead already, and the Bugs maybe running out of steam.
Yeah, indeed. A desperate situation for them. Coming at 12 minutes 30 left on the clock right now, and 2 rounds down. This is a crucial map for them. I'm going to be watching looking for this bit, since you've been mentioning him a lot of times. Going to come in the airstrike now, getting not spamming, trying to get on the right side. But a lot of frags actually going away the side of Bugs EU. Mickey's falls behind right now, so that's another player down essentially. And Bloody's going to get some nice cleanup onto Ubers, so the rest of the team looks to hold this. But Mickey should be probably working his way back in now. He's going to be in, well, he's right back in the last actually, so no position there to sort of contend this midpoint.
When we were on the other side, Hildrift got caught off, can't escape. Thomas and Turbo just deny him in any exit, he gets taken out. Champagne did survive, which is the same in Grace, he just died. Basically to keep her alive, she could get out safely, and they're pushing forward.
Meanwhile, Mookie on the back line is just generally destroying Jinxie on that respawn, but the rest of the Bugs are trying to come in as this last push already, and Mookie's way up position to try and contest it. Champagne trying to get a late saw in, but eventually goes down. A lot of cap time for the side of the Bugs EU. You're going to reply with a quick round there to take it to 3-2.
Yeah, really fast round. They needed it to A, stay in the game in general, and B, not get completely demotivated. And quick round, they just brute force their way over the left side on mid, and lo and behold, it worked. Mookie also not too successful with his play, being stuck behind the entire time, basically only getting that one pick that entire round. So, not going too well for Lowpander at the last mid. Let's see how they can turn up this time.
Yeah, going to be watching Tom Ness for this bit just to see how the soldier aggression is on their side. Going to be jumping up top right now, trying to deny the general crate area. So the rest of the Lowpander seem to be well sticking onto their garage area. Champagne's getting to jump around a bit as well as the rest of the team tries to push forward. Mr. Epic with the first pick onto Turbo, but eventually another pick on their side, but it's going to be a lot of damage actually on the side of Lowpander. It's getting easy kills onto the side of the Bugs, and he looked to seal this mid cap.
Yeah, you could just tell the Bugs just wanted to repeat what happened last round. Lowpander, however, is a little bit smarter than that. They have checked on that, didn't let exactly the same thing happen twice. Shutting down people early enough and preventing Bugs from going anywhere, winning the mid-fight and wanting to keep up the momentum, but don't really have too much in their favor right now, so it will probably slow down here for a little bit.
Yeah, potentially here, 1 round advantage on their seconds. Probably looking to wind down the clock a bit. It's on 10 minutes as of now. Crucial map pass as well for Lowpander. Win this and they're in Prem next season and win Division 1 altogether. We're going to see a lunchbox push up here, I think, from Lowpander. A lot of gamers positioned here, but maybe a bit hesitant to push out. They know the gamers are set up on the right side to counter that sort of play. So we've got Champagne here holding Granary and lunchboxes. The rest of the game is trying to get around. I think Ubis is going to try and lead his charge right now with his rockets. Not enough space there, I think. Potentially needs some sort of distraction play. And I think actually Mr. Epic with the pick onto Bloodist here should give them a bit more of an opening to try and commit to this push.
Yeah, they're just slowly inching their way forward. They sneaked in one behind, which is another distraction to help them, but still not too much coming out of Lowpander. Just seeing if they can find the damage, forcing them into the corner, which is a really bad position if you need to get out of. That all-in-one got cleaned up behind, while Lowpander commits in, which is just really bad timing. They realized they back off a little bit again. Champagne was in second there for a second, but now they commit properly with the Uber. Ignis goes down, can't get flash in time. Exchange comes out, but Lowpander used much earlier.
Yeah. It was getting body blocked a bit there on their exits. He's probably going to get caught out now by the soldiers. A lot of damage now going his way as the rest of the Lowpander try to exit now. But the thing with that lunchbox push, there wasn't enough pressure there on the point to actually sort of make some sort of play off it. And now a lot of frags go on the side of Lowpander, 2 players up on the side of the bugs. And Wookie tries a big bomb in, eventually going to create it. And second point, clapping rather slow actually for Lowpander, but eventually going to come out. Uber's now on a 6k in this life.
The damage he could have had to give you some respect on his life. Eventually he just trades for it, and even then it wouldn't have been at all easy for Nolan to take, so he just gives up him spawn. 4 to 8 minutes left. Not impossible, but it's very much reminding me of last map.
Exactly. Going to be watching Hildreth on this rollout as we come up. We've got a Wookie Spy on this mid, which is ridiculous, but we'll see how that plays out as we get to this. Hildreth going to take the left side route onto choke. So it's either that or balcony as general demo man pushes. Coming around the same time as Turbo and trying to take some space in the health pack right now. The rest of the soldiers I think on the side of Bugsy U. Big bomb in from Tom Nass trying to get space onto Mr. Epic, but doesn't quite get the kill.
When Mookie goes on to play immediately, doesn't even wait for a long time. Shots back them as well. And the rest of his team just collapses onto the bugs completely.
But he gets a clean up on the scout as well. Mookie, big cleaner. And then Mr. Epic gets the last frag, it's a full wipe.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Yeah, Lowpander just asserting the dominance right now. Strong mid coming out of them, and even if the bugs would be to recover from this mid loss, they still would have to fight back all the way from last to this one. So it's a really huge
skies are heavy on their last, just walking in. They're going to call it straight away. Just Mickey taking away general attention from his team. Probably looking to try and re-push in on the left side, maybe get decloaking. But with a heavy disguise, makes him a bit fat. And actually going to try and pocket him on this rock now. And Uber comes in on this heavy. Despite Mickey. He comes behind right now. He might actually get onto Ignis with the revolver, but gets launched away by the rockets. And, I think it's Tom Nass as this Pyro tries to get the clean up. All that Uber going onto the spy there. So the rest of Lowpander trying to take some sort of advantage. Still no Uber inside the Bugsy U, so could very well go Lowpander's way. A lot of Cat Tight coming out. Frags going their way. That's another round for Lowpander. 5-2.
Yeah, and you can. It's just so reflecting of what Lowpander is all about. Like, you see teams like 7 just play slow to just get to the enemy's head and just completely throw them off their playstyle. Lowpander just memes around until people just can't play properly anymore. And in a position with this lead, it's just perfectly justified in my opinion.
Yeah, especially with a line of Wookie disguises heavy taking the Uber for his team. It's a bit of a precedent, but we're going to see Wookie Pyro now on this mid, coming up to balcony as the rest of the folks try to recoup the situation. Jinxie with another big jump in, but gets absolutely destroyed, I think it was pipes or rockets, I think, from the Lowpander players. Unless there's a Nate round, but a lot of picks actually going the side of the bugs, just 2 players up. It's going to be Mr. Epic and Uber's trying to regroup the situation. Uber's in onto Mentidex getting the big rocket in, but eventually
nice
surfs away.
on the pack as well.
And a nice sticky there from Turbo to clear up Mr. Epic, so that's going to be a mid-win now for the side of the Bugsy U. Coming into a crucial stage of the game right now. If there ever is a start
to backup, then to backup to a comeback, I should say, then that's it. Winning the mid with full wipe, getting the medic, keeping Yorn alive, is certainly the kind of mid they need, but they just need to play relatively easy from Yorn out for the next 5 minutes.
Indeed. Direct hit Wookie trying to come in onto the flank right now. Then you get the rocket in onto, I think it was Turbo. As the rest of the bugs trying to push in. Actually gets a pick on the Jinxie, and the Uber comes out on the side of Mentidex. The rest of the Panda now falling back to try and build their Uber their own. Looks like bugs might actually get this Uber in. As Jinxie's got Tom Nass even on the left side trying to get a rocket onto Cookie. The cap eventually does come out on the side of the Bugsy U.
Fighting against Bladders. That's another thick tournament. The Bugs have committed in. While this is happening, not too great numbers on their part, and Lowpander just picking them apart one by one. Turbo down, he manages to escape, but there's still Mookie on the other end. They have to worry about.
Mr. Epic really committed on this pick onto Menti. He's going to get it as well, the clean up onto Mentidex. It might actually die now to the side of, I think it's Ignis. Indeed he does. He's taking down Mr. Epic. But Uber's on the flank there, picking up Jinxie. So general chaos in this lunchbox area. And Uber's with another pick on the Ignis. He's having a really big game.
Yeah, and Lowpander just staying strong amidst all the chaos they admittedly created themselves here. So yeah, they'll be able to get intimately with this advantage. 4 minutes left with a 3-round lead is enough time to just kind of wither away the last minute of the clock here, and they probably were on mid, Bugs approaching them aggressively, and they kind of have to.
Yeah, we had Thomas getting a really nice early pick down to Hildreth to try and open up some space, and then Bladders on the flank, I think, getting some sort of force onto Champagne. But Lowpander getting a majority of the frags there. 3 players up on the side of the bugs to get this mid point. And generally, those no stone unturned. You've got Mickey on the right side, pre-firing the spawn door, denying any sort of forward spawn that's going to peek in. Jinxie doing some sort of role play there. And actually got Puddy's peeking out the door. He might actually get a pick here. Doesn't quite hit the shot onto Mr. Epic. He's going to be pick again. Nearly gets the champagne actually. But while this is happening, the rest of the bugs are trying to come in. Nice pipes there for Turbo picking up too. And Ignis is going to get the clean up into Mickey. So all that distraction there from Bloodis, I think, really baiting into Lowpander players. And the bugs getting free picks because of it.
Yeah, and we're approaching the last few minutes of realistically still turning this around for the bugs. And getting this late pick onto Champagne is certainly really helpful. They want to have the momentum in their way all the way to last, and getting was that help. Got a lot of Buki jumps and deep gets the pick onto Turbo Gals for eventually, but the demo pick is certainly helpful.
Yeah, Mr. Epic committing really late as well on that midpoint, trying to deny it, but he's going to go down as well. So 3 players up on Lowpander, trying to probably set up for the last event. We've got Cookie on Sniper right now, and the Ford's trying to get onto Bloodis, but eventually going to have to back spawn and get out of there. Probably committing to the Sniper on the last hold as well, as the rest of the bugs look to push forwards into the second, and potentially the last right now, with their Uber ad.
But Cookie on Sniper has something to say about that pick of Eagles on entry. Uber still committed into a heavy. Picks up the Sniper in the end, which is a pick, but probably not what they wanted. Menki commits really deep. Ubers wants to catch them off guard, but the soldiers are fighting instead. So he can't really go for the medic pick. Oh, can he? He goes behind, drops down. Huge rocket onto Menti. Menti craters in the end. Wiethoofd comes in for some follow-up. It's a lot of chaos, and it just clean and simple favors Lowpander.
Yeah, I think Lowpander committed to push out with a Brass Beast heavy, and it's not Richard for once, it's actually Mr. Epic coming out right now, as the rest of the bugs scrambling to try and get out of there, but eventually getting against up a hill drift, but the back cap from Ignis! Easy round there for the Bugs EU, bringing it to 5-3, 2 minutes left, potentially come back to this. It's a very desperate call though.
They need the one round they had for the second round they won, where they just walk aggressively over the point and just destroy everybody, but they need that twice basically. That's a lot to ask from them.
Yeah. So, Bugsy in 2 rounds and 2 minutes essentially to try and bring this back. We got Jinxie on the rocket jumper, probably looking to try and make some sort of really fast roll here. As the rest of the bugs trying to push in, they got Turbo really deep in as well. Don't know if this is just trash time or they're trying to commit to this really deeply, but Lowpander called the shots. They're going to like pick up 2 easy kills immediately. Hildreth's going to pick up Tomness as well. Blood is trying to get some more exchange frags out. Probably going to get pressured out here. 3-on-3 situation actually on both teams. Trying to generate pan at this time. I think with the time this fight's going to end, it'll be out of the question for the bugs to try and regroup this map.
Yeah, strong stuff coming up by Lowpander over the course of this game, and yeah, it's fair to say congratulations to Lowpander for being the winners of Div 1 ETF2L Season 29. Sure, there's still a minute to play, but we all know it's not possible anymore, sadly enough for the bugs, but still props to Lowpander and props to Turbo for that late pick there onto Champagne.
Indeed. And also, winning Div 1, that's means to see Lowpander back in the Premiership for Season 30. That's something to look out for.
Yeah, after a little bit of a roster changes there. Slowly but surely back in Premiership form, definitely. Not too early to say that after the results of today, both and Cup last weekend. So, yeah, strong stuff coming up by them, and they're back.
I mean, in this time we got Mental X9, just denying Hill Drift, down to the last 20 seconds of the game. It's just generally some sort of shenanigans as you do. Mental X trying to get the Siphon to Mr. Epic, but gets picked up by Cookie. On his left side now, just generally Spy Crab and Jinxie. Yeah, this is definitely game over for the Bugs EU. Just accepting their fate.
Ooh, Mon even killed Binary before Thomas can get the pick.
And there we go. Lowpander are your Division 1 champions for ETF2L for Season 29. You'll be seeing them in the next season's Premiership Division. And with the Bugs EU taking a close second, but ultimately not enough in the end.
Yeah, and both, I mentioned it before, both maps had a very similar pacing to them. Just the Bugs starting out full force, really aggressive, getting stuff done. But eventually their momentum just slowly went away. Lowpander having like a longer breath in this game on both maps and in the series in general. And it just really goes to show how much stamina can mean in a game like this. So huge props to Lowpander, and we have a little bit of logs as well up for this game.
Looking at these logs, the first thing I see Uber's having a monstrous game. 31 frags, 11k damage, top damaging for the old server, and a total of 8 air shots. So Uber's having a really strong game there, coming out for his team. Ignis coming close as well with a huge amount of frags, 27 for him, so definitely trying to regroup some ground for his team, but ultimately not enough. Only getting to 3 rounds compared to Lowpander's 5.
Yeah, just really interesting game overall, and I think Lowpander felt confident in taking it the moment you saw Mookie go for all the Mimi kind of stuff, and at that point it just was more of a matter of getting into the head of the Bucks more than just playing perfect yourself to the point where it actually worked, and that alone is almost interesting enough to say the least.
But yeah, seeing from that game and how Lowpander's recent form, where do you think you see them in for next season? Perhaps they've had some mixed results. I think some of the top teams, but they're definitely up there in the playoff region. I think for next season at least.
It really depends on how much they want to do this Mimi kind of stuff again. We saw I made this comparison once on Twitter, the first season Prem Lowpander versus their last season in Prem Lowpander they played. They had 3 or 4 seasons in a row, and in the first one they had going for all this kooky kind of stuff, and it wasn't working too well. They eventually became more and more serious. Mookie played more and more soldier instead of other stuff, and they became better and better as a team. And it really depends on how much they want to be season whatever it was, 27 maybe Lowpander compared to season 25 Lowpander. So yeah, it's really up to them. I think they have the sort of players potential that we've seen in the past from them still in them. It's just really up to them, I want to say.
Yeah, but also commiserations there for the Bugs EU, just finishing second overall, which I think is a good result for them. I think they were expecting probably third when Bullet Club was still around, but eventually Bullet Club disbanding after that, after their lower bracket game, I think, giving a default win to them to get them to bye to this grand final. But it'd be interesting to see if they stick around, if they play together for the Prem playoffs, I guess. I'm sure there'll be some sort of qualifier next season in some form.
And we have Hildreth coming in for the interview as well. Hello, Hildreth, and congratulations to winning Div 1 in this 2-map series.
Thanks.
How are you feeling after this? It's just both games started with the Bucks starting out really strong, but your team still managed to stay composed during all of this. So how did it go?
Well, sorry, just trying to get my other teammate in. Yeah,
Sure.
Sorry, what was the question?
We saw both games starting with the Bucks really strong for the first 10 minutes or so, and your team in the end still pulled ahead. And how did that go for you guys? That just the part of staying composed the whole time and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
we were having
later
fun.
on there was the Mimi stuff, but at that point you were almost safely winning at that point, I want to say.
The entire game was just chilled to that environment. I mean, we don't really get anything from winning the league. I mean, most of us have won Div 1 before several times, in fact, or played Prem for several seasons. So, and there's no prizes. So even when we were behind, it didn't bother us that much. So it was just played the same way, just to enjoy ourselves. It would have been sad if we'd lost. My ego couldn't take a mental defeat. But yeah, it was, other than that, it was pretty relaxed the entire time. Champagne, though, you've never won Div 1. How does it feel?
I don't know, it feels nice. I don't know. I guess it was a good opportunity to play as the least experienced on the team.
Well, it's been a long way since the season started, so the team has certainly come a long way with the slightly adjusted roster now with Cookie back in the game and Champagne now on the medic as well. So, I mean, the big question that people probably would be wondering is if Lowpander will stay together in some sort of form going forward now.
Well, hope so. Well, it's not necessarily. I believe you'll see Lowpander lineup in the future for sure. I don't know what we're going to do for season 30. We might just I don't think there's lack of enthusiasm to really try hard in the ETF2L. There's a few things that aren't great about the league at the moment. I'm pretty sure you try and see a Lowpander roster for every Essentials Cup, and hopefully a LAN roster. That's the idea behind it anyway. But as for ETF2L, we might not have a roster, or we may just come back, but we may not be as serious a roster. We'll probably be playing Premier, though. I mean, we can't sandbag forever, you know.
Eventually, the admins you just beat would probably take action. Yeah.
I was hoping that Cookie and Champagne would be so garbage that we would be stuck in Div 1, but unfortunately they weren't, so it didn't work.
Well, that's a layout compliment.
Yeah, it's about as good as it gets with me.
Well, at the very least, it means we'll still see you around in some way or another, wherever the money flows, basically.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
we've seen you the last few Essentials Cup and like getting higher and higher results every time.
Yeah, I mean the rosters. Well, we've got quite a big circle jerk going on now. We can pick from like 7 million different medics, so it's good. I don't know, like for me, on the personal level, I can't see myself like unless there was an urgent need, or I was really, there was an urgent need for me to play. I can't see myself playing in a manner where I'm trying to win Prem, but I could see a different roster with different demo men playing instead of me.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we've seen like Domo step in for you a little bit during the Essentials Cup while you were casting, for example. So
yeah, that and things like that. I hear you're quite good at demo man, Champagne.
No.
Well, that would be a prime debut, just switching class first season.
I think I'll stick to medic.
All right, if you don't have anything else to say, George, then
I actually have one question. We saw earlier in the playoff bracket that Bullet Club basically gave a default win to the Bugsy U to get them into this grand final position, essentially. Do you think it would have been a closer game if the Bullet Club managed to beat the Bugsy U and got to the grand final themselves? Like, where would you see them?
Go on, Champagne.
Why me?
Because you haven't said that much. And let's face it, nobody wants to hear my voice.
I don't know. I thought that this team also would have put a better fight considering how they performed last time. So that was kind of unfortunate, but you can't tell about the other team.
I can't help it. I have to interrupt.
Yep.
I was just saying when we played earlier in the season against this team. Actually, both of those teams took a map of us, but against this team, it was Granary, which is why they picked it. But the difference in that game and this game is they ran a perma-pyro at the time, and our perma-pyro in that game was Mookie, and their perma-pyro was Jinxie. And it turns out that Jinxie is a better perma-pyro than Mookie, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter. But on this occasion, they did not run the perma-pyro, so we...
Well, I mean, pyro changed a little bit, not like tremendously, but damage is lower, so it's a little bit harder to do stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit different story this time around. It would have been at least
sensibly nerfing. Nice. Doesn't happen often.
Has been a while, yes. Well, there's still the detonator being the way it is, so.
Oh, I love the detonator.
Sure you do. But yeah, that's basically it from us, and with that, we'll just move quickly to shoutout, starting with you, Hilda.
Sure. Shout out to my boyfriend Cookie, and my girlfriend Gamori, and just to the boys for a good season, and the token girl.
Okay.
To Nunya, and to the Bugsy U, because
rest in peace, Nunya.
They're cool guys.
Yeah, and next, Champagne.
Shout out to Lowpander for letting me play with them. Shout out to Nunya and shout out to Chris.
George, your time.
Shout out to Waves, my Sixes team, and to Woe, my Highlander team, and also shout out to Wiethoofd on production.
Yeah, Wiethoofd, if you have anything to say, I think you can unmute yourself. Yeah, sure. Let's just talk about that for a second. We have for Copenhagen Games, which is already happened if you missed it somehow, but there's a little fundraiser thing for the staff because TF2 nobody really makes money of it. It's just a passion project for everybody. So for every bit of merch you buy from the store on land.teamfortress.com, I think is the page, teamfortress2.com. So land.teamfortress2.com. For every bit you buy, the production staff gets a little bit of money to compensate the amount of money they put into events for this game, and it's just good for everybody. Just make a little bit of money back for all the amount of work people are putting into this game to bring us events like that every year. So huge shout out for them and everybody who made the land possible. Esports United, Chris Cass, and Essentials, and their sponsors, SDN Trading 2, and Copenhagen Games themselves. And shout outs for both teams that played the Bugs and Lowpander for bringing us a solid game. And yeah, we'll see the people in the future. And with that, you've been watching Lowpander versus the Bugs EU ETF2L Season 29 Grand Finals. And that's it from us. There's like a billion games going on right now, so maybe some of those haven't finished in 2 maps, and you can go watch one of them. So see you there.